Anyway, I forgot to unmute us because I am a genius.
Good job. Has the stream just been running while you've muted us?
Yes! Because I'm a genius!
You sure about that? You sure you aren't secretly a massive retard?
I am so smart. S-A-R-T. I am so smart. S-A-R-T.
Did you just spell it? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did you say S-A-R-T?
Yes, that's part of the joke, Max.
Okay. No, because I've actually heard someone do that like the opposite way, like actually spell it out correctly. It's been so long since I've heard someone do it properly. Like the joke properly.
I'm also wearing the Rooster Teeth brand I am good at words shirt.
I'm glad you're getting use out of that. It's definitely one of the better gifts I've sent you.
I do word good. Anyway, so to make sure everyone hates me as much as possible tonight...
Don't worry, you won't have to work very hard at that.
I know! It's gonna be even easier when I give you a Familiar of Zero Naruto crossover.
Look, honestly,
oh wait, I don't give a shit about Familiar of Zero. Carry on!
Quite frankly, Sneaky, it can't be as bad as the shit I'm subjecting myself to with this Fate fanfiction I found. It's one of those things where it's like, he's ignoring established canon, even though he's claiming it's only slightly AU from Fate Grand Order.
Of course, yeah. Well, Fate Grand Order. There's your first issue.
Well, no, but here's the thing. It still operates under very specific rule sets, and it still has very specific characterizations that he just straight up ignores.
Ignoring characterization? That's not something people do.
That's not something that's ever been seen on fanfiction before. Every author is great at characterization of the main cast. Which is actually ironic if you really think about it, because you would think if you're a fan writing in a fandom for a thing you enjoy, you would actually get the character that you like correct. But,
that's not a thing.
I literally today, so this is, I'm going to be subtracting some information so it's legal. Today I was doing my job, and I got a slip of paper that had 6 500s written on it, added together, and then a 1000 added on there. Now you might be thinking, Sneaky, doesn't that just equal 4,000? They wrote 6,200. And I don't know how they got that number.
Skillfully.
Wait, the fault line Familiar of Zero. Why does this sound familiar? We haven't covered this, right?
No, we haven't. It's not on my list of bookmarks. And it was published back in 2018, which means it would be post-bookmark era, if it was. So this might be a rewrite, for all I know.
It wouldn't surprise me.
We have encountered that before. So anyway, as Max so succinctly said, this is the story, Vulpine Familiar of Zero. It's a Naruto Familiar of Zero crossover. Instead of summoning Saito, Luis summoned our favorite orange shinobi Naruto Uzumaki after he left the Hokage's library with the Forbidden Scroll of Sealing. How will Naruto deal...
ADD ninja.
Okay, wait a minute. So we've now summoned level 1, 1-star shit tier Naruto.
Yes.
Well, that's terrible!
Well, consider the following. Is that even Naruto at that level is still strong enough and fast enough to kill bandits. And pretty much everyone in Familiar of Zero is on that level.
I mean, that's true.
Actually, this is him with the Forbidden Scroll of Sealing, which means he now has unfettered access to that entire scroll going forward, regardless.
Yes, but you made one critical flaw in judgment there, Max. You assumed Naruto can read.
Well, no, he can
We
clearly
know
read,
he
but
can.
you like there's probably going to be a number of techniques in there that
are
shit
just
tier
beyond.
Naruto can't do.
That
Like
just beyond him, yeah.
even by the time he gets Sage mode and is like, I need to be standing still.
Yeah, well,
Otherwise,
Naruto's big
focus.
thing for the longest time is typically where he gets a move that is powerful, but the problem for Naruto is that he's mildly retarded. And I mean this in a mental sense, that he's mildly retarded. And while he does and is capable of doing the move, he ends up having to make some sort of shortcut that allows him to do the move just as good, usually. But he cannot do the move normally. Because, he's mildly retarded.
And incapable of many of the basic ninjas skill. Like, okay, I can make a Rasengan if I hold still and I let something else make it for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Arn Jacob has given me money again for another 19-month streak on a 5-month streak. Neat. Thank you, Arn. You gave me an eyelash emote. What the fuck?
That's
What?
disturbing.
Oh no, that's a ha-ha shrug right arm emote. Okay.
That's a left arm for a snowman.
I'm very confused at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where we're going. Okay. So anyway, but the big thing here is where the author goes absolutely off the fucking rails with this. So this story, if the author had stopped right there in the summary, I would have been like, I'm genuinely interested. I mean, the title is kind of off-putting because that usually means it's going to be garbage. And no, it's right. But reading that summary, I would be like, okay, I've seen Sage Naruto get summoned. I've seen Hokage Naruto get summoned. What about Naruto level 1 getting summoned? Maybe this could be interesting. And then the author follows up with Naruto Harem. Gamer crossover.
Wait, game elements. That might not be gamer, but...
Gamer is the general term. While there is a story called The Gamer, gamer is a general term for there's going to be game mechanics implemented in the story.
I feel like you're full of shit, and you're just coming up with that on the spot.
No, I've seen people go, it's a gamer story, and then it uses the Fallout mechanics for stats and levels and skills.
No, they probably got that from the Korean manhwa.
No.
We started making use of that power set, and then it started leaking
No.
into fanfic stories.
The gamer manhwa uses a completely different and completely fucking ridiculously overpowered and unbalanced
Sneaky, it uses
game
the mechanics
mechanics
found in RPGs. His power is literally, what if I lived in a video game that I'm familiar with the
I'm
mechanics
aware.
of? That's probably what they're referring to, but they picked their flavor of game for the power.
That's what I said, Max. They said gamer, and then they used Fallout instead of gamer. Because that's a specific stat set in how that operates.
Oh, who's this now? Could it be Jorp?
No, it's Orpheus.
No, it's Orpheus.
Oh.
Yeah, he I brought him in for the Naruto part of this story. Because he is also writing a gamer story. I'm going to shill that for all of my 2 people watching.
One of which is me!
Yes. Orpheus is actually...
I certainly appreciate the cross-shilling, Sneaky. Your audience is surely as large.
I feel he may be shitposting.
I didn't get a single person from that cross-shell of yours.
I believe it. I don't have a single person from my shilling my Patreon that's shown up there in it either. So,
Yeah,
that's what I'm...
Such is life. Such is life.
I feel like it's because most of my audience is probably like 15-year-old edgelord.
That is
Hey, that's
that
why
is
you should be.
yes.
Listen, if they're 15, they aren't smart enough to understand what a guilt trip is.
You know,
That is
I'm
also
sitting here
true.
trying to figure out why the fuck someone's still subscribing to my old ass YouTube channel from.
Max, look, I have
It's the
32
last time I did anything with
I have
that.
32 subscribers. I haven't made a single video on my YouTube channel.
Okay, the problem is that I've looked at the subscribers occasionally. They're real people with real videos who've made real comments
Yes.
on, like, old AMVs. That's what I'm confused about.
Yes. I have been subscribed to for the comments I've made on videos. And I'm just like, why? Why are you doing this?
You're sure they weren't mostly bots?
Considering the fact that one of the people that did it was a person I had an extended conversation with in the YouTube comment section, yes.
Maybe it's just a really good bot. You don't know.
Maybe you're just a really good bot, Max. You don't know.
I mean, I'm gonna have to send someone to silence you now, but you're right, I don't know.
Anyway, so the harem for Naruto is going to be Luis, Siesta, and of course Henrietta.
That's
What's
pretty,
the crossover here?
That's pretty bog standard.
Naruto, Familiar of Zero, and Gamer.
I have no knowledge of Familiar Zero at all, so I'll just not.
Don't worry, neither does the author.
Of course.
You know what? I feel like we could make a small show. Like, I could make a small highlight reel of, like, don't worry, blank doesn't know, and I'll just keep a running counter of times you've been right versus times you've been wrong.
Don't worry, I'm a professional. In the clearing of a forest located in Konoha, or the Hidden Leaf Village, a boy sits reading a large scroll. His name is Uzumaki Naruto, a pariah of the village. He has been abused and mistreated ever since he was born.
At least
You know-
it didn't give us a physical description.
You know, I was even gonna make the joke that the reason why he's illiterate is because he was chased by villagers every day, so he could never sit down to read. And then the author goes and does this. Good. He aspires to become a Hokage, so he can protect the people he cares about as well as gain recognition from the people around him. However, he failed the graduation exam at the Ninja Academy twice, with yesterday being his due to not being able to properly Bushin. One of his teachers, Mizuki, told him of a make-up exam, which involves taking a scroll from the Hokage's office and learning a technique in order to pass. Okay, I mean, to be fair, though, like, that is legitimately... I would believe that.
Oh, absolutely.
It sounds like a very ninja thing. It's like, oh, you didn't pass? Alright, then here's the practical.
Yeah,
it's
basically,
listen,
like...
kid, you're garbage at taking tests. But if you can actually break into the Hokage's
Like,
office,
obviously, if this was a real test, like, maybe they would put it at, like, high Genin or some sort of level, just to make it, you know, like, hard, but not undoable.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that Naruto just straight shit broke into the Hokage's office, stole the scroll, and fucking got out, and nobody stopped him.
No, well, no. I think the third tried to stop him.
And then he turned into a girl with boobs, and the third
Yeah.
passed out from perversion.
Yeah, so regardless of how it happened, he did technically defeat the third Hokage, who's considered to be one of...
Yes.
At the pinnacle of the ninja world at the
Yes.
time, alongside, like, 3 people.
With boobs.
Look, he almost defeated
No, and
a
let's be clear
primordial
here,
tree
underage
goddess
boobs.
with reverse harem.
My favorite part about that is everyone's like, why did that work?
It's like, why did that almost work? Why did Naruto's anti-pervert technique almost save the world?
I mean, on top of all of that, it was just a moment of, wait, when the fuck were you training this?
Yeah, there was also
It's-
that. I forgot that was
I would
also.
say that's
Yeah,
when
he
Naruto
goes-
goes, "I'm a young man who lives alone and has no money."
Well,
Well, the best part of that is most of the people in the reverse harem jutsu were people he'd only seen during the war.
yeah,
Like he did that on the fly.
it's just like, wait,
Yeah.
hold on a second here. I actually did read a story. Just for the sheer what the fuck, I read this story. Obviously, it was a porn story. Duh. But, normally I wouldn't have read that sort of thing. But just for the sheer, okay, I have to click this. It was a what if story of what if the reverse harem jutsu worked on Kaguya, and it was a Naruto times Kaguya story.
Now, see, that's funny.
See, that's why I had to click on it. I was like, okay, I have to see how he does this.
Please tell me that was labeled comedy.
Oh, it was a parody comedy story. Yeah, no, it was absolute
Good.
fucking cocaine.
That's good. That's. You know what? I would like to see the spin-off of that.
Pretty much all the entire first chapter was just a very explicitly described comedic sex scene. And I didn't want to read more, but it was a thing. It's
I
about what
feel like
expected
that
from it.
description is for most of the things you read.
That was the thing.
It was a thing. Yeah. You are not incorrect.
That, in fact, when it comes to Sneaky, that's not just stories. That's like, well, that game was a thing. That writing session was a thing.
I mean, even just like, oh, we were doing something simple like playing Dark Souls, and it's just like, oh, I see, that happened.
All right, sure.
By the way, Sneaky, I'm fine. Pot.
That's still one of the most fucking anime moments ever. Oh, Aden's turned the corner. Oh, Aden's back now, except with the giant fucking pot paling him.
I'm okay. Dead.
I actually learned something really interesting about that little canyon back during first playthrough with my friends with
The
PS4.
fact that you can live when you fall down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that out too!
I'm so glad that we both hit the same bug.
Oh no, that was not a bug. That was me screaming my head off as I'm yelling for Atten to save my ass, and then I rolled
Yeah.
off the cliff, got into halfway down the canyon because I got stuck on one of the little tiny rocks, and then I fell the rest of the way down with another roll because I was like, well, in for a penny, in for a pound, and then I had
Oh,
like
no,
1
He had
HP left.
just enough health.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, Sneaky. I had something completely different. I was standing close to the edge, fighting the dog,
Okay.
and a pot comes sailing in and
Oh.
knocks me off the cliff.
Yeah.
I found out that one, momentum carries through from pots when
Yes.
you're down on the ground, so I slid off the cliff off my back,
Yes.
and your iframes continue until you're fully standing up.
I see.
So I got a free ride all the way down to the bottom of the cliff, completely unharmed, aside from taking 10% to a pot
Yeah,
to
no,
the
I
back of the
was
head.
very harmed. Exceedingly
He
harmed.
was extraordinarily hard.
I got the best way down, ironically enough.
Oh, also, I will be honest. The dude who waits up at the top of the cliff with a pot to drop on you, he got me good that first time.
Yeah.
Because I was like, all right, we've cleared the entire area out. All right, Sneaky, I'm gonna start picking up items. You go make sure nothing jumps me. Okay.
I was not good at that.
Host of Embers has died.
I like that you trusted Sneaky to do anything on his own.
Well, no, because
I can tell
there
you.
was Max. There was one path. I was like, not even Sneaky can fuck up guarding a straight
Okay,
path.
here's the thing. Sneaky, can you hang here for a second? Yeah, cool. Host has died. Sneaky, what did you do? I walked off the cliff. Sneaky. Sneaky. You just had to stand there. This isn't Dark Souls 1, our first playthrough together. So all you had to do was stand there.
I'm making a hard right turn! Why are we on the palm trees?
Hey, speaking of which,
I don't want
Max,
to talk about that, alright? Both I'm not good at giving you directions. You're not good at receiving directions from me. That's what
You said take a right! I meant at the road!
Oh, boy.
Max, you want to go play Dark Souls?
Anyway. Yeah.
Not at the moment.
Well, I was able to learn the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, but maybe learning another technique would increase my chances of passing this makeup exam. No punctuation, thought Naruto.
Wait, so is he not getting attacked there?
Not yet.
No,
remember,
Erica shows up.
there was
Oh,
some
that's right. He goes, oh, right, I can use the shadow clone technique, but maybe I should learn something else. Also, I do love that he's like, it's like, if you steal the scroll and learn a technique, you pass. I'm pretty shit. I should probably learn a second one just to be on the safe side.
Just to be on the
I
safe
mean,
side.
it's a good premise for an AU story because it's simple and it's actually Naruto's thought process.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it's fantastic. Especially because the way they've written it, it's like this is
Jorp's
absolutely
here.
something that could happen.
Oh no. All right. I'm putting the hot take shields down. We're ready for you,
mean
Jorp.
Shields up?
You know.
I engaged the ultimate hot take shield.
Wow. That is quite impenetrable, sir. Hot dog.
It's a simple spell, but quite unbreakable.
I support censorship of people that aren't me.
It's alright. He made the right move. He truly did.
I'm sure he did.
I was like, it's Jorp. He's a good friend, usually an enjoyable fellow. But I should just give us a good 5-second window. Like, listen, I need a button that's just labeled Sneaky Jorp.
Every time you stop a true patriot from firing his weapon, a commie survives for another day.
Yeah, he's right.
But counterpoint, every day that a commie survives is a day that you can help put an extra strain on the communist empire and drive it to ruin quicker.
Or we could just purge them all.
Yeah, or we could just purge him out. I like
Jorp's
that.
idea.
Yeah, I like that one more.
But guys, we can't purge
Thank you,
them
Tension.
yet. We don't have Liberty Prime.
Oh, but we do have helicopters.
Okay, yeah, but it's not a proper purging if you don't have
We
Liberty
could give
Prime.
them free helicopter rides.
Yep.
It just isn't the same if you don't have a giant robot throwing
I-
backpack nukes.
I mean, that is correct.
Don't get me wrong. We all
Yeah.
love Liberty Prime. Okay, there's no question that.
I'm not saying nobody here loves him, right? I'm just saying it's not the same.
Okay, but wait. Okay, so
Sub to you fucks. That's all.
Oh,
say.
yeah,
Suck.
yeah. I said thank you.
Okay,
So
good.
I'm just saying, if a helicopter isn't good enough for you, and understandable, you can only fit so many communists into a single helicopter. What if we took them all skydiving, but replaced their parachutes with a bag of bananas?
Interesting. I'd like to subscribe to your newsletter.
Or we could just take.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
You know they used to have those big industrial-sized ovens and gas chambers. We could take those.
No.
And we could repaint over the sign on the wall to say "Welfare Office."
My.
In other news, I'm just gonna go ahead and quote Demetrius and kill every last one of them.
All right. All right. That's a shot worthy. Woo!
Okay.
Okay. Let us keep going.
By all means.
Not on this line of thought, with the story. So, Umino Iruka showed up, and Naruto's like, "You found me." And Iruka's like, "Wow, he's been practicing here." And then blah 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 canon. 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 Canon.
Lots of
Canon. Canon. Canon.
Canon,
Canon.
canon,
Canon.
canon,
Canon. 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 Canon.
Attention, we are reading a Naruto Familiar of Zero crossover where Naruto gets pulled in just as soon as he learns the whatchamacallit.
The whatchamacallit, of
The
course.
shadow.
Fucking
Shadow clone
Naruto's signature
Listen,
technique. The
I
whatchamacallit.
can barely remember what I had for breakfast.
The sexy jutsu?
I didn't have breakfast.
I mean, yes.
No.
He didn't learn that. He created that.
Yeah.
Well, technically, he had to learn it in the process of creating it.
I suppose semantics-wise, you win this one.
I'm just saying both of you are right.
I love the writing in this story so far, and by that I mean it's terrible.
Yep.
And I feel like one of the lowest IQ takes on Naruto stories is when they try to inject Mizuki into them.
Except this is literally the very first chapter,
this
just
is literally
rewritten
canon.
in text form. That's the problem.
It's literally just canon Naruto, except it's words instead of pictures, which makes it
Is that
inherently
what
worse.
Naruto said? Did he shout, "I will kill you"? That seems so base.
Yeah, actually,
Pretty sure he did say that, yes.
yeah. He pretty much beat the guy to death. So
Yeah.
That was the assumption, and then filler art goes, nah, he's actually in this high security prison, and he has tiger powers.
Well, because the filler arc was like,
Well,
it's
see,
pretty
that's
dark
what
that
I
we
never
had Naruto
quite-
just murder a dude.
see, this is what I didn't quite get. The same with Destiny and Naruto. Like they're just like, yeah, hey, so these like highly dangerous criminals with superpowers and shit. Yeah, we're just gonna like arrest them and put them in jail instead of
Right, because
kill
feudal
them.
Japan had an American-style industrial
You know,
prison complex.
I'm gonna be honest. I think my favorite shonen version of like we're gonna imprison the super powerful being is Bleach, where it's like, no, seriously, we're going to imprison you because you live forever, and we're gonna get like 300 seals that will just stop. At
Yeah.
least theirs works.
We can't kill you, but oh my god, can I put you on lockdown?
Like I appreciate that. I appreciate it's like, listen, for the people that are, technically mortal in this realm, we have a cool bird. For the people we can't literally kill, we have 3,000 seals with your name on
Well, no, there's this thing called the Maggot's Nest as
We
well.
have a cool bird.
No, so there's this thing called the Maggot's Nest in Bleach. At the prison is called Maggot's Nest, and it's basically where they put people that they think could be useful at some point, but are just like
it. Yeah.
fucking completely unstable.
Kisuke was put in charge of that for
Yeah.
a time.
And Clown Guy was actually a prisoner there that they were like, well, shit, we need a new scientist. Hey, you're fucking insane, but also a scientist. Want a job?
That's right. He was. I forgot he was a prisoner there, wasn't he? And
Yeah.
part of it
Literally,
is that
literally, they put
Kisuke
useful
did
people
help
there.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kisuke did help him rehabilitate a bit.
a little bit.
Well,
Just a little. Enough that he wasn't going to subject his co-workers to those experiments without at least asking. Whether he ignored their answer or not was up for debate.
can I strap a third arm to your forehead? No. Too late.
Doing it.
Doing it.
Now I may be the only person here, but I really like filler arcs in anime. I think they're pretty good typically.
They can be.
some-
I don't
They're
have a
good.
problem with filler. Here's the thing.
It's when
It
they
depends-
don't do anything interesting. It's
Yeah.
Like, eh.
Well, I always thought in Bleach, like taking Bleach is just a quick example. The filler arc they did right after the Soul Society, was it the Bout arc? I thought that was honestly the best
Oh,
collection.
was that
of
filler?
episodes. Yeah.
Which arc?
You're talking about the rebellion arc, right?
No,
The Bout arc.
the
which
the
is-
Bout
that was
arc.
the people. Yeah, they were the people who they were trying to become whole or something. It's been fucking over. a
So
decade since,
basically, the best way to describe them is they were all
Oh,
Quincy's, yet they all had some sort of like knick-knack, patty-crack power.
yes.
Okay, yeah, that was anime, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought that was actually the best collection of episodes in the entirety of the anime.
I mean, honestly, I forgot that this was
Yeah, I was
not.
gonna say, the Rebellion arc was my favorite. Like,
The entire
that was
Miramasa
such a-
arc was awesome.
Yeah.
It was
honestly,
it was like, guys, what if the swords got bitchy about being swords?
honestly, I think Bleach is probably some of the best filler I've seen because I didn't even realize some of it was filler until I read the
yeah,
manga.
No, but like when the Rebellion arc first started, I was just like, bit of a hard left turn, but I dig it.
Yeah, but then it goes like the Naruto filler. It's like, Naruto, you need to train to beat the fucking blah blah blah, and it's like, okay, serious mode activate, and then fucking next episode's just like, Naruto, we're gonna go join a film crew to go and see snow.
Yeah, Naruto was good
That
when
was
it
a
focused
that
on the
was a
side characters,
movie
but-
though.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah, it was
filler.
That was a separate movie.
All the movies are filler except the last.
There's
but
there's
the,
the ostrich ninja.
Oh fucking.
That was filler.
No, I haven't read the manga, but I always hated one thing I hated in Naruto was that one character Sai, and he felt like a filler character, but I don't know if he was in the manga or not.
Yeah, no, he was
Sasuke's replacement.
Unfortunately, he
Sai
was
was
canon.
unfortunately regrettably real.
Also,
Okay.
apparently, Ino was like super into his.
I'm
Hell
not
no.
sure.
All right, so I think honestly, here's my theory on the post Kaguya arc pairings is
Right.
Shonen Jump just looked at fanfiction and was like, "Ah, that seems like a good pairing." And with Sai, like, 'cause
What's the
thing
most
with
popular
Sai-
pairing for these characters in fanfiction?
Yeah, because
Boom! Canonized.
Oh, I
the thing with-
hate are we okay spoiling Naruto here?
I
Like,
don't fucking
Oh,
care.
He's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
fucking old at
Okay,
this
It is
point.
so.
I never liked that Naruto ended up with Hinata. I didn't
Um,
like that.
yeah,
I thought
no,
he should have
to
ended
be
up with
fair-
Sakura.
Yeah, no, and it should have been neither of them. Sakura was an abusive bitch who, even near the end of the manga, straight up tried to manipulate Naruto using her knowledge of his crush on her. And
Well, I
it's
was gonna
just
say,
like,
don't forget the most manipulative thing she ever did, where, oh, I can't have Sasuke, but I can have Naruto.
yeah, it.
Yeah, and so how does Naruto come back from that? He puts a baby in that ass.
I
I
feel
Okay.
like wires are being crossed.
But also, I don't like Hinata at all. I thought she was the dumbest fucking character in the show.
I
Well,
thought
look,
it was very poor, yeah.
the thing is, Hinata could have. My personal opinion on Hinata is she could have been great because part one Hinata was like real soft yandere, and then
I'm
and
sorry.
then
No.
this is-
What you guys have to
no,
understand is this is how Orf has been writing Hinata for literally a decade.
Well, and maybe she's
Well,
better
no,
in
because
the
I
manga.
actually haven't written.
Oh.
I actually haven't written her like that. No, she's not soft yandere in like the homicidal and like the stalker. She's the creepy girl. And then out of the left field, Kishimoto goes. And here's the thing: filler arc part one Hinata actually straight up murdered someone because
Yes.
they bad talked Naruto.
Yes.
She straight up drowned him in magnetic dust because he had magnet release.
Yeah, and maybe she's better in the manga, but the problem in the anime is that
No,
between,
that was
between
an
the
an-
voice they use and the way she kind of like wanders around.
Clutch
I feel like
Nada.
she's got an extra fucking chromosome. Like, she's not all there.
No, she's probably not.
No,
But no,
that's when she started taking her medication.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
But no, I think Kishimoto's big issue is he's terrible with writing mainline female characters, and he knows it. And like
Yeah.
he's straight up admitted it. Because like Sakura was never supposed to be a love interest. She was
Well,
supposed to be.
I liked Sakura as a character though. Like,
I hated Sakura
Well,
as a character.
Yeah, I remember in an interview he said that Sakura was never supposed to be a love interest. He was trying to turn. He was going to have her turn like real tomboyish after the Chunin exams, but the fans
Why?
really liked her
they
as a
didn't-
love interest.
well,
I don't ask
listen
me
to
why.
him, man.
You could have her as a love interest and still be a tomboy. Jesus Christ.
It's
Those
it's
guys-
Japan.
like,
No, it's
Kishimoto's
Japan.
not good at girl characters.
But like,
He's
no,
fully
like,
admitted.
no, it's fine. Like Sakura's like, hey guys, what's up? And Naruto's like, oh hey Sakura, and Ino, fucking supermodel Ino over there is like, hey guys, how you doing? And then Hinata comes in and she's like,
all I'm saying
I
is
have a
that
crush on you.
all I'm saying is that I support the Naruto Ino pairing. Jorp knows why, probably. The only reason why I support the Naruto Ino pairing is because of the ship name Master Race.
Master what?
The ship name for Ino and Naruto is Master Race.
What?
I don't know how you didn't see this coming from a mile away, Atin.
No, why is it that?
What do you think?
No, I want to make him say it.
They're both blonde
Nose hair subbed with the quote Master Race.
I joined back in and suddenly the whole crew's here. What the fuck happened?
I sent out the swastika signal.
I gotta look this up. I actually didn't know about that.
I didn't either because I usually don't pay that much attention to shippers because they're a bunch of cancerous dicks.
And why do they call it? Why do they call it Master Race?
Probably because they both have,
Aryan features.
yes.
Okay.
Anyway,
As long as we purge Sai.
Yeah, because Naruto, even though he speaks Japanese, he's half German, half Irish.
now that's a story I want to see. Half German,
He is the bane of the British.
half
That's what he
Irish
is.
Naruto.
Fool, Konoha science is the greatest in the world.
Alright, let's get back to this fucking story before Twitch comes in here and nukes us all.
They're gonna
Night,
nuke
everybody.
you.
You're
No,
not big enough
everyone
to
in
do
here
that.
is coming down with me.
You're not big enough for that.
I will take a plea deal to throw you under the bus ASAP.
Oh god. Anyway, so canon keeps happening, and more canon stuff. The Naruto behind you. It's a green portal, and then the portal starts licking him and starts sucking on him, and then Iruka's crying out in panic, "Naruto!" as his student is slurped into the portal.
I'm going to have to request less suggestive portal language.
Would you like some cake? In the courtyard of what appears to be a large castle of Western design. That is not the words I would use to describe the familiar of Zero Academy. Western... They said a large castle of Western design. That is... not... no.
It's,
Nah.
I guess insofar as the towers are more of a Western thing with the circular design, but it's kind of a weird mix for architecture.
Yeah.
Because Western does include Europe.
That
No
looks like a
shit!
starport.
The West
Oh.
includes Europe.
I'm looking on Google right now, and that straight up just looks like a military star fort. It doesn't look like a castle.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't even remember much of the design, actually, now that I think about it. Just
It's a star fort.
Yeah, star fort with 5 towers and one in the middle, and forms a magic pentagon.
Anyway, so they're like taunting Luis, and Luis is like, "Fuck you," and blah blah, cannon. And then everything explodes, and then and then a blonde-haired, blue-eyed child with whiskers on his cheeks akin to that of a fox, wearing a rust-orange jumpsuit that screams, "I am right here, kill me now!" and green goggles with sandals. Then there was a large scroll strapped to his back. A human, those clothes, it looks like a peasant. Like, look, whoa, hold the fuck up. Naruto has zippers. That is... No.
Not only does he have zippers, he has a full cloth outfit.
He has zippers upon zippers. He is peak 2000.
Like, we've had this rant before,
Yeah.
but Naruto has bright orange clothes. First of all, they're in the
Bright
medieval era.
orange,
Even
yeah.
with magic, like, orange dye.
Yeah, that's
Y'all.
not...
Orange
He's
dye.
some super rich merchant in the Middle Ages. That's the first assumption.
Yeah, pretty much probably. Everyone's twitching. This is the divine and powerful familiar of yours. What am I? Well, I mean, to be fair, according to the female fan base, Naruto gets hot, so I guess that fits beautiful. Divine, a literal god container, so I guess.
Well, also remember, Karin said that his chakra feels warm and bright like the sun.
Mhm. And powerful. I mean,
So-
Naruto's definitely going to be that. I mean, hell,
Well, I
even
mean,
as a kid, he was that.
Yeah, I was just saying, even as a kid, like, I mean, even if all he did was be like, look, I can summon, like, 5,000 copies of myself. Sure, they're all children, but 5,000 children can still kill someone.
I mean, I'm just saying here is that Kakashi estimated the amount of shadow clones it would take before he is near death is around 5. Naruto created 1,000 at age 10. That's a
Oh my
Yeah, I was gonna say,
gosh, demon.
even if Kakashi's shadow clones were a good bit more durable and capable,
good thing I can keep up this literally all day.
absolutely.
I mean, here's the thing about the shadow clones. Kakashi's shadow clones also have to compute, like, his brain, because I'm fairly certain Naruto doesn't have a brain for the shadow clones to compute.
Does that make it rape?
What?
Sure. You're bad.
I know. No, I'm not sure which comment to be more confused by. Nose Hair's absolutely inane rambling, or Jorp's response of "Is that rape?"
Well, no, Jorp was on his own tangent about the if you have sex with your shadow clone, what is it?
And I
I
was just
mean,
saying Naruto
clearly.
is so dumb, his shadow clones probably don't have to process his brain.
Yes, I'm not sure if that makes it like unconsensual though, you know?
I mean, technically it's
I
you.
mean, technically speaking, Naruto's shadow clones had some form of maybe sentience since they could disobey Naruto's orders.
Yeah, I always got the feeling his were just a tad bit more alert.
I mean, no. To be fair, pretty much everyone else who used shadow clones were like really professional people and knew how to be professional, and so their shadow clones were like, "Yeah, I know I have a job, so I'm gonna go be professional and do that job." Meanwhile,
it's possible
Naruto's
that-
like, "Fucking."
Actually,
Meanwhile, the first time Naruto summoned shadow clones, they're like, which one of us is the real Slim Shady?
See, this is where we have to pull in the
actually,
Hark-
that never.
we
That
have to
was
pull in
actually
the
a
Harkness
filler arc
test here.
in the anime, and that happened because some of them were. Actually, why did that happen?
No,
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 didn't that
Max,
happen
no,
the very
no,
first time?
no,
we
it
have
was
to
no.
fight to see which one of us is real?
You're both
No.
wrong. It actually happened during the Chunin exam training with Jiraiya, where Jiraiya said eventually, because they were trying to exhaust Naruto to make him use up all his chakra, and Jiraiya eventually says, we need to make you use up all your chakra so you can tap into the Kyuubi, and Naruto goes, well, why didn't you just say so? He creates like 100 or so shadow clones, and then goes, whoever wins the fight is the real Naruto, and they all kick each other's asses.
I do not remember that.
Like I say, the only real problem with that is it is, of course, inherently biased in the original's favor, since he can get punched and not die.
Well,
That's
yeah,
the
but
point.
obviously means he wins, and then therefore he's the real one.
It's like that movie.
Naruto understands his personality the most.
Remember
He
the Disney
knows
movie,
how-
The Other Me?
No.
It was the one where the kid made a clone of himself to go to school for him, but then the clone decided he wanted to take his life, so it tried to kill him.
That does not sound
I
like a
feel like
Disney
there's like several movies based on that concept.
Yeah, I was gonna say there are multiple movies about that, including an episode of The Twilight Zone, but it involved evil mirrors.
Oh, well, yeah. Here, I'm putting a picture up of the cover art in the chat.
I'm gonna go do the thing I was originally asked to do on this show all those years back, which was
Your
occasional
job?
bouts of research.
Oh, that yes.
Yeah, also, listen, never be
Wait.
like, I'm gonna make a clone and make the clone do all the hard work for me. Make a clone and be like, listen, we're gonna split the shit jobs.
I'm not gonna split fuck it with my clone.
I said the shit jobs, man.
So what? You give the clone anal?
Yeah.
No. I have standards, and my standards are well above myself.
Actually, before
No.
anything else, we do need to definitively answer the question on the
Sneaky, I
stream.
understand
An
the joke
official
you were
answer: if you have sex with your clone, is it gay or is it masturbation?
Both.
Yes.
It's an anomaly and should be removed according to the laws of the Codex Astartes.
Speaking of which,
the Codex Astartes doesn't have a way to, talk
Really?
about that.
Really? Have you ever asked a Space Marine about that?
No, because
hey, have you ever fucked each other in the butt? Bang.
So it's gay masturbation.
Exactly.
But anyway, so as I was saying,
That's an acceptable answer.
so there's a clock that times us at work whenever we're doing a processing for a bag, and my computer has the clock, but one of my coworkers didn't, and so I was. They were asking like, "Oh, how long did I take on that bag?" Because they were trying to time themselves to make a point about something. And I was like, "Oh, just check out your clock." And they're like, "What do you mean check out your clock?" And I was like, "The processing clock." And they're like, "There's a processing clock?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's right here." And I pointed out. They're like, "Oh, I don't have that. How does yours work?" And I go by seconds. And they're like, "No, you fucking asshole! I mean, how does it work by bag?" I'm like. So you mean not by seconds then?
You should have just said millisecond.
They thought you were being a jackass, but you were trying to be helpful.
Like, I thought they were asking, like, how does it record? So I was like,
I like that this person's known you long enough that their default is like, Sneaky's just being a jackass again.
So I was like, it records by the second.
I mean, honestly, anyone that knows Sneaky for longer than 3 months will probably default to that.
Look, pretty much everything that comes out of my mouth is either I'm being retarded or I'm trolling you, and it's exceedingly hard to tell.
We're aware. We're your friend.
So,
Oh, I was kidding.
by your powers combined, you are a singular friend.
Yeah. One
Thanks.
friend.
That's all you get.
We're all just fragments of.
You get
Sneaky's
one
rapidly
friend, and quite frankly,
deteriorating-
you should be skipping for goddamn joy.
Anyway, so everyone's laughing at her for summoning a peasant that doesn't speak their language, which again is a fucking huge ass red flag. You summon a human, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, what the fuck? You summoned a human? How much of a fuck up do you have to be to summon a human?" And then the human starts, speaking Chinese or some shit. And everyone's like, "Oh, the human can't even speak our language." It's like, okay, maybe take a second and go, "Oh shit, they don't even know our language. How far away did we pull this person from?" Because,
The
again,
ends of the
this
fucking
is
earth.
the Academy of Magic, where they both teach magic and all of the other noble shit because they're nobles. And
All the other noble shit because they're nobles.
the future upcoming nobles of the country, they're going to be representing the nation in all things political. So, knowing languages to tell where someone is from so you can do the proper court etiquette for them is somewhat important. And if someone starts speaking a language nobody has heard of, the oh shit-o-meter should be flashing red. Just saying.
Well, you say it should be even more than that because, again, first of all, again, this is something we've been over and it's bothered us. They go, "Oh, he's a peasant." Like, maybe with some, like someone summons me right now wearing a t-shirt and pajama pants, I'll look like an extremely uncoordinated peasant.
You are a peasant.
Excuse you. I'm lower middle class is the correct term.
That sounds like
Unlike
peasant
you,
speak.
Vermont trailer trash.
Look, just because I'm trash that lives in a trailer doesn't mean I'm trailer trash.
Fairly certain
Oh,
that's
please, I've heard you talk about your sister.
To be fair, that's correct.
She is the epitome of trailer trash.
Tell me more.
No. I'm
No,
just gonna stop you
those-
right there.
those
So
are
there was
stories
this
that
one
you
time
hear
with a
off
pig.
screen.
Ellis, we don't need your stories right now.
All I'm saying, and you never bang your friend's sister, but
Jorp,
Luckily for you,
love-
he doesn't count
Sure.
as a friend.
I love trailer trash bitches. I tell you what, they are some of the best bitches in the world.
Jorp, I'm going to tell you right now, even if it wasn't Sneaky Sister, you wouldn't want it.
Yeah,
No,
listen, we've heard the story.
You
Listen,
don't know.
listen. This is a bundle of crazy that you don't want to go near.
Well, is she fat?
No. She has teeth on her vagina.
I
She'll
was
rip
gonna
your
say-
dick off.
Given
Yo, I saw that movie.
given what Sneaky has said of her, she's actually mildly attractive, or was at least. I don't know.
I
her current
haven't seen
status.
her in a while, but yeah.
We imagine the copious
Oh,
amount of drugs
hey!
has caused
Thank
her
you
to,
for the money.
Really, talking about your terrible sister has gotten you money.
Yeah, Super Potatoes. Good
Again,
on you, bud.
potatoes. I don't know. Like, are you trying to buy yourself a date with Sneaky? Because I'm pretty sure that can be done.
No.
You'll
No.
I'm trying
regret
to buy a
it,
date
but
with
it can be
Sneaky's
done.
sister.
Jorp, no.
Jorp, unless you can suddenly be a woman, I don't think that one's gonna work out.
Oh, she's a lesbian.
No. Well, one of them is.
Oh.
Oh wait, is this a different sister?
There's multiple.
Yeah, I know that.
Only one of them's a lesbian. For
You know
now.
the
No, but is
greatest
this the
form
one
of
who
white
is this the
genocide
one
was
who's
convincing
trying
them
to
to be
convince
LGBT and
herself
remove
she
themselves from the
is,
gene pool.
or actually is?
Well, I mean, a hot take here. Is there really a difference for women?
I'm not
gonna
touching
say
that
anything.
with a 30-foot pole.
As someone with two sisters that have gone that way, I will say yes. There is no difference.
Yeah. Look, I'm just gonna say that she dated 54
I mean,
men.
The real thing we need to do is ask Isley.
All I'm saying is she dated 54 men before deciding that she was gay. Dated then 15 women. And has been like, well, I guess this one isn't too bad on the latest one.
So she's obviously pretty fucking good at picking up dates.
Yes. She also doesn't quite understand signals, even less than me.
Is that possible? How does her brain function?
Let me give you an example that will forever stay in my mind.
By all means.
So I come home one day, and there she is, in the basement, alone, with her boyfriend, under a blanket, watching a movie. Okay? The next day, I hear about how she broke up with him because he thought she wanted sex.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what kind of rules they set up beforehand, but listen. Unless I've got a real clear boundary that this is not fun times, and a girl is like, we're home alone in the basement with a movie on under a blanket, I'm like, I'm supposed to do something, right?
Well, if I'm
Oh,
in the same room as a
the
girl, she
issue
just
wasn't
wanna
the
fuck
fact
her.
that he did anything. It was the fact that he broached the topic, and she was like, "Oh my god, no, I don't want to have sex with you yet." And it's like, you were alone in the house, in the basement, under a blanket, spooning with him, watching a romance movie. Even I could pick up those signals.
And those are signals that aren't coming from Mars.
But, yeah. So, anyway, they all look at Naruto and go, fuck this guy.
Well, hey, on that note, I gotta get running, guys. We moved our D&D game to Tuesday this week because the Game Awards are on Thursday. So
Oh,
yeah,
well,
happy
have fun. Remember, Sneaky's sister is available for $9.99.99.
Yo, I don't pay for it.
Who does pay for it, though?
Yeah, but Jorp, you're paying for the experience.
Yes.
You're paying for the package outside that. You're paying for the Crazy Town.
All right, fuck. Get a hold of my credit, people, and we'll set this thing up then.
Sounds good.
Awesome. I'll see you guys later.
Anyway, so, honestly, to be real honest,
Yeah.
I think my younger sister would go for it as long as she got half.
Hey, you know what that sounds like to me, Sneaky? That sounds like a money-making opportunity.
So Sneaky, if this whole thing you're doing right now doesn't work out, you're gonna start pimping out your sisters.
I mean,
hey, I was the one who said he was trailer
I'm not
trash.
gonna
He
say I'm
just
not.
did it for me.
It's a possibility. It could happen. But I'm not gonna say I am. You know,
For legal reasons.
for legal reasons. That's a joke.
FBI should be walking through that door in a minute now.
I'm just waiting for the knock one day on my door.
You won't even run. You'll just sigh. Be like, oh, they finally.
Fucking knew this was gonna happen.
He'll have enough time
popped
to just
back
send me a
say-
text.
I just
It
popped back to
finally
say,
happened.
first of all sexual activity is transitional in nature anyway, so it's not a problem. Also, I
Do
love
you mean
Israel.
transitory?
Who just disconnected him? Or did he disconnect
I
himself?
think he disconnected himself as a joke.
I think he wanted to do the bit.
The
Oh
other
no, someone
me.
did disconnect him.
Who disconnected him?
Me.
Wasn't me.
Sneaky. Of course it was Sneaky.
Couldn't have him saying anything good about Israel.
Yeah, I had to stop him before it was gonna happen. No, Jorp, you can't support people like that anymore. You have to support Hamas.
I mean, given that Palestine has started putting out some, like, actual grievances, just, like, guys, they're building shit on other people's borders.
Okay, but I mean, come on. We let North Korea get away with it.
Well, we only allowed that because they give us nukes. Israel hasn't given us any nukes.
I'm not touching that one. I'm too smart for that.
Okay, so canon, blah blah blah. I want to try again. This boy is your familiar now. I have no idea what's going on, but I have to make it back home. Naruto began to leave. I've never heard of using a peasant as familiar. Peasant boy or not, continue the ritual. What's going on? Oi, quit poking me. Hurry up or we'll be expelled. Alright, what are you doing?
Also, I want
Be
to point
grateful
out,
for this.
she just expects this fucking random kid, this random peasant, to know what he needs to do to complete a familiar contract. Like,
She's desperate. That's it. She's desperate. She's not thinking.
What is she doing? Come on, stay still. Hold on. Are you trying to kiss
little
me?
did
Isn't
she
this too
know
soon?
it was Naruto's second kiss.
Naruto's mind was a total mess. Blah. Contract servant has entered peacefully. What are you talking? What's going on? Body heating up. Runes are being burned into you. Yeah, just calm down. The runes are only being carved into your skin with a burning magical poker.
Yeah, looking back on that line, that's always funny. It's just, they're so blasé about it.
Hey, calm
Like-
down. I'm just burning magical stuff into you. I'm sorry.
Yes, let's take the hot rod and put it to the skin of the poor traumatized
Look,
abused youth.
all I am
This will
saying.
go well. The
all
demon
I'm
fox
saying-
definitely won't come.
Yes, well, all I'm saying is that I kind of really want to see a Crowley moment in Familiar of Zero when an American gets summoned. So you guys armed here? No, we have no need for such peasant arms. Oh, good. Greetings from America. Bang!
Bang bang. I have the most. I am truly the strongest familiar, for I have the power of Glock.
I have
That just sounds like a
by the
that sounds like
power
Nino
of
Kuni.
gun.
So, is it an American because it's a school shooting?
Yeah,
That wasn't the joke we were going for.
Ah,
that's how you know it's an American.
Hold
Oh,
on, someone's
God.
knocking on my door. I'll be right back.
Sneaky sister.
Oh god, no.
He paid the blood price.
Why the fuck do I have to pay the blood price?
Oh, it's because we selected you.
I've been selected for a sacrifice.
Alright, so Naruto's screaming in
Congratulations,
pain.
citizen. You have been randomly selected to pay the ultimate price to ensure our survival.
Yeah, basically.
you have been promoted. You have been promoted to D-class personnel.
Oh, God. Anyway, so, he's screaming in pain, and then he glows blue, and everyone's like, whoa. He just glowed blue, what the fuck? And then, he wakes up in a pile of hay, and he goes, wow, I felt like I was just cooked alive, what the fuck was that? And Luis goes,
also,
oh.
again, just to, like, they're like, she summoned a human being. Throw him in the fucking stable.
Just brand him! Make him a slave! Yeah,
Like,
no.
I'm like, guys, you can't even put, like, I know you have servant quarters. You can't even put him in there.
No, he's a familiar. He belongs in the hay. So you're finally awake. I was wondering when you were gonna wake up. It's you. What did you do to me? Why'd you burn me? Shut up. All you do is
You got-
chirp.
you got
Wow,
caught in the passage
wow,
between scouts
that
and
is
people.
racist. Holy
sorry, what-
shit, Luis.
What did she say?
All you do is chirp. Wow.
Almost as bad as the origin of barbarian.
Then Luis recalled something. Oh, right, I can use a silencing spell to shut you up. And then she chants words and explodes his face. And it doesn't silence him, it, of course, gives him language. Because, again, I never really understood that. Like, Luis's spells are anti-magic in nature, not polar opposite. Like, her fireball's a ball of void fire that deletes magic.
Which,
Wha-
when you think about it, is extraordinarily metal.
Yes. But all I'm saying is, why would a silence spell, instead of, like...
Making everything loud?
Why would this silence spell become a translation spell because a void mage cast it? That's fucking dumb. Like, that's such an asshole for the magic system.
Like, if they just if they literally just went, hey, we have actual translation spells, and one of the professors was like, well, Luis, I feel kind of bad for you, so I'm gonna let you talk to your familiar.
You don't have to do that. You could just be straight up Luis going, oh, shut up, familiar, or some sort of stupid thing. At least speak a language I can understand. And then she casts a translation spell at him, and it explodes in his face, and you get that comedic moment, I guess. And then it works, and then you could have used that moment as like, oh, Luis actually can cast spells. They just also happen to explode, which tends to be something you don't want to happen. But
Yeah.
like it's just such an ass pull for a silencing spell to instead translate languages.
Well, I'm more bothered by the fact that it's already established that the runes with the contract already give them free translation.
Oh, is that really?
I'm pretty like the moment the contract was burned, he was able to understand their language, if I'm remembering correctly. No one had to cast a spell. It's just
I
like,
mean, that might have been a
oh.
one-way street kind of thing.
Maybe, yeah.
Except that Naruto is still given runes that Colbert doesn't recognize, and since Louis still has to have a familiar of, was it Premier? The founder?
Yeah, Premier, yeah.
Since she still has to have one of those familiars, presumably those runes would still give him free translation.
Maybe.
That seems to be the general rule of thumb.
Yeah, but you know how I remember I made that joke about an hour ago about how the author doesn't know.
Just ignoring stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ignoring or not knowing. Yes, I remember.
Yeah. I can understand you now. I was trying to do a silencing spell and that failed too. I mean, again, this is the whole thing. It's like, oh, I failed to cast the spell. It only translated a completely foreign language. So that's still actually
Like,
incredibly
listen,
impressive.
If I was like, I'm gonna cast silence, and I instead wound up casting permanent comprehend languages, I'd be like, okay, this is, I wouldn't classify this as a success, but I would definitely classify this as a different way to make a light bulb.
Yeah, and at the same time though, it's like, oh, I'm such a failure of a mage. I can't cast spells. Cast comprehend language.
Even
like
if
you
by accident.
It's like, I understand you were aiming to go 100 miles per hour, but the fact that you managed to skip 2 tracks, go 50 miles per hour in the opposite direction, still means you drove the car.
I don't know too much about Familiar Zero, but it seems like a better character archetype would be the teacher from Bastard Magical Instructor.
I'm sorry. What? I have never heard of that. Is it any good? Because it sounds good, and I hope it's good.
It's kind of like a comedy not high school, magical academy thing. He has sort of that archetype like a regular at Magic High, where he's a mage that's really powerful, but it's because of skill, not because he's actually powerful. One of the things there is the magic system it's syllabic. They speak. The spells are incantations, and if you get the rhythm of the incantation wrong, it fails.
Right.
And most people think it just fails. He figured out that you can actually change how it fails based on how you incantate it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, you cast
basically just new incantations at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, there's a
That's
basic
the point.
lightning spell that you can use, and he's like, okay, now what if you fail it this way? Oh, it turns at a 90-degree angle at this particular distance.
Right.
If you say it this way, oh, it turns into a shockwave.
Right.
And he categorized how it happened, and he used it as like this whole scene he used to convince the class he wasn't just a lazy instructor that didn't want to be there, which he totally was. He kind of got forced into the job. But like, it's a magician that fails upwards that's the archetype that I'd like to see. Which never really happens with these Magic Academy stuff. They always fail, even though their failures are spectacular and should be counted as successes.
Well, it's not only that, it's actually worse if you really think about the lore of Familiar of Zero and the main character. Because the main character of this story is the daughter of the general of the army of the country. A general, I suppose you could say. Of the special forces of the country. And personally tutored by this person. And this person declared them a failure of magic because every single time they were taught to cast a spell, the spell would explode in an extremely destructive manner. And the head of the special forces was like, oh, you are clearly a failure.
There's no room for explosion mages in my army.
Yeah, literally. There's no room for magic destroying explosion mages in my army.
No, even if you don't know that it's magic destroying, like, wait a minute, you're telling me that you can cast the tier 77 spell explosion by casting levitate. And you still cast it for levitate's mana cost. Yes? You're hired! And then you just lie, and instead of saying they're a failure, you say they're exceptionally skilled at explosion magic.
Exactly.
They have no need for anything else.
Luis the Bomb. Hey, that actually sounds really good. It sounds like you release the bomb. It works!
Just start hearing
Mega Brain!
You know what?
Also,
I kind of want to see a Konosuba cross now where she summons Megumin.
That's happened. It was terrible.
it was bad.
It was
I'd
bad.
like to see it done well.
Also,
yeah,
I can
we all like to see things done
Also,
well.
like, that is absolutely, like, the badass, like, mid-tier boss of the RPG, Luis the Explosion.
And then he
I don't
turns
wanna
out to
fight
be
him.
like the actual final boss.
I can
What
cast
if I
Wrath.
don't want to fight that?
I can cast Wrath of God for 1 MP. I'm an absolute failure at spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. But even then, there's like early on in the storyline of Familiar of Zero, where they build up about how this vault's like super great and has like the best magics on it and literally impenetrable, and Luis one-shots it.
Sounds about right.
And everyone's like, wow, that golem broke the vault wall. And it's like, come on.
You know, I feels like anti-magic explosions might destroy magical enchantments for some.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right? I could understand nobody figuring out that it's right? Because they just, you know, who's gonna be like, yeah, let's test to see if this is an anti-magic explosion on
Yeah,
my,
fair.
you know, my enchant. Like, even if it's just like a pot that's enchanted to never rust or get dirty, I'd be like, I mean, I could check to see if that's a magic-destroying explosion, but if it is, I don't.
Well, and don't get me wrong, I understand where it could be like, you know, like maybe you wouldn't pick up on it, but say this is the sort of shit that makes me want to rewrite. This is why I kind of want to start that YouTube channel of creative revisionism, because it's just like Luis cast a spell on this dirt wall I'm raising, and she does it, and it's like, wow, hold on a second, that was an explosion, but that explosion did way more damage to my magically created dirt wall. I'm totally not the special forces captain or anything, and I definitely can't put my mega fucking military brain to the test to see what's going on here. Nah, she's
I
clearly
can't
just a failure.
Despite the fact that I'm shown to be a highly logical individual, I can't employ the scientific method.
Yes. She is clearly just a failure of a mage. Next, please.
Next child, please.
Yeah, it is exceedingly painful her character arc, because it is almost purposefully what's the word? No, it's not stupid. It's like it's obtuse. It's being purposefully obtuse about Luis's magic for the longest time. Even like during canon, like not even before canon. during canon for the longest time as being obtuse. And like the first time people actually recognize Louise as being able to actually cast fucking spells is when she casts actual explosion, where she shouts explosion and yeets the entire military of a country.
Oh,
By the way, I'm mostly just disappointed it took her that long to be like, everything I do explodes. What if I tried explosion?
What if I tried doing this on purpose? Yeah, no, like I said,
the absolute worst thing that can happen is you don't cast explosion. The best thing that can happen is you discover you're some kind of explosion savant.
but it's just that's what I'm saying though is the character arc for Louise is purposely obtuse. It is like Idiot Ball is glued to her chest.
Well, not just her chest. Everybody's chests.
Multiple Idiot Balls in the case of Kirchi.
So I went through my quick records
Yes.
for this
Yep.
media.
Yep.
Because there's like 3 different versions.
Yep.
The anime version, I was incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
He did not get it for free.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the anime did exactly what the author wrote, which is a silencing spell. Oh, that didn't work.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
Okay. But the manga, he just came out understanding their language immediately.
Wait,
I
how did he
see,
get
yep.
it in
Before
the
the
anime?
contract.
Well, the anime/light novel.
In the
I don't know
light
about the light
novel.
novel. I'm not sure about the light novel. I've never actually got my hands on it.
Okay.
But in the manga, he just knew.
Yeah,
the
from what I
language. They
remember,
shared
'cause I
language.
actually do have the light novel. From what I remember of the light novel is it was just right off the bat, and that's the difference between the anime and the light novel. And this is, I mean, I do give kudos to the anime in certain aspects when they did change the story a little bit, because they did try and play it as a comedy, so they went with a lot more visual gags. It's a lot harder to do a visual gag in the example of, no, shut up, familiar, and I casted my spell at him, and then suddenly we could speak. It's like, that's not really that funny when you're reading it. But if you're seeing it happen, it's more amusing. Now, depending on, your personality type and your sense of humor, the amount of humor you would derive from it is, different. But it is a more comedic visual gag than it is a written one. So they did that in the visual, and in the written version, they just were like, yeah, fuck it, he just knows. It is, unfortunate that a lot of people never read the manga or the light novel, and then they go on to write fanfiction based on the least informative version of the story.
People don't read the light novel. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, even read the manga, because the anime has to leave so much out sometimes, because it's an anime, and they have, 16 minutes, 18 minutes, 20 minutes?
About 20 minutes, not including opening and ending.
Yeah, about 20 minutes an episode to cover X amount, and they can't always include everything, such as character thoughts and actions and different characters doing different things. And so they have to cut it down, and you lose a lot in that. And then fucking people
light
go
novels
read-
make trash anime.
Yeah. Not Tanya, though. Tanya makes an amazing anime because
I would say,
holy shit, that light novel. Fuck that.
I don't think the light novel's too bad, but I definitely agree that it makes a much better anime.
It feels like I'm rereading War and Peace.
Yeah, I'll grant you that. Although I actually kind of liked, I liked that the author's like this.
Oh, you don't get me wrong. I do like the fact that the author took the time to put that level of detail into the story. It's just the presentation of it made me go, "Oh wow, this grass is growing."
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I'm going to watch this paint dry. It'll be more entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, that's definitely a story concept that benefits massively from anime, especially because they did a really nice job with the animation.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. I am so glad they did a nice job with the animation, because looking at some of the other animes that are coming out in like the previous years, it is.
Well, like for instance, I went and I watched the
cringe.
movie with my brother. The animation in that, like, it was. You could tell it was a step up from the show.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say
But
with your brother?
not in a bad way. Like,
Mhm.
like it was like, yes, this is clearly a step up, but this is still really good.
Right.
Like, it didn't make the show look bad. It just made the movie look better.
Right.
Which movie?
You know what I'm talking about though.
The
Like
Saga of Tanya the
Fuerta. Oh my god, I Fuerta's animation was. Oh god. Oh my god. So, World's Strongest, or whatever the
Let's
fuck
not
it was
talk about
called.
World's Strongest.
No.
Well, it's like the new Berserk anime.
Oh
well,
god, it was so
new,
bad.
I say. It's
Wait.
several years old now, but...
Hang on, is Adafuretta's animation just not good?
Oh my dude, no. So not only do the characters and the backgrounds they're in not match color palette wise and washout wise,
Oh no.
the CGI looks like it's from a B movie from the 2000s.
Oh!
And like it doesn't even look like it's on the same like layer as the rest of the anime. And it's just like, oh god.
That's not good.
Meanwhile, the Konosuba anime
hurts.
is somehow lauded as one of the best animated things of the year. I'm not sure how the fuck that happened.
Because people are retarded.
Drugs.
Mm,
Anyway,
for action scenes, no, but like general movement, there are very few frames where there's not something moving in that first season, at least. There's always something happening.
But yeah, and like, I will be one of the first people to admit, the whole reason I got started on Saga of Tanya the Evil, Crunchyroll was doing an anime marathon, right? And they
here's
tend to-
$5,000, make an animated movie. Get on it, Max. I'll pay you in more yen.
I don't think you're motivating.
Why
him.
don't I... Well, hang on. How long does a movie have to be?
Well, typically movies are around 30 minutes minimum.
Okay, but short movies exist.
Yeah, 30 minutes minimum.
Like short films, like 5 to 10 minutes.
I mean, I suppose you could get away with that.
Okay.
But it
Is
has
this
to be claymation.
$5,000 going to me, or am I expected to pay out of pocket for possible voice acting?
I mean, who needs possible voice acting when you have all the voice acting you could ever want with me?
I mean, listen, I can do it. I can do at least as bad a job as Sneaky. I'll throw my hat in the ring.
I mean, if I was going to use Nikki for a voice, it would quite frankly be narrator, because he does have a good narration voice.
I apparently
Yes.
also do a good Southern preacher, but that rarely is relevant.
We're not... No. No.
But have you praised the Lord recently, Max?
Well, yes.
Good.
But still, no. You're not allowed.
I live in Konoha. I have never heard of that. I live in Land of Fire. Never heard of that either. Just, where are we then? You are in Tristane, land of Halkaganiania. My name is Luis Francois de Blanc Le Valerie. Fuck the French and the Spanish.
Also, I want to point out once again, magic. Boy, this random schlup that I have summoned, this peasant, is listing a country that I, a member of the nobility, a
Yeah.
member of the head of the army, has never, ever heard of.
Yeah. You are now my familiar, and I am your master. A familiar? What the fuck is that? What do you mean? You should know. You are a commoner. This is the first time I've ever heard this.
Actually, depending on how much he knows about summoning at that point in time, he really should know.
I mean, he doesn't know anything about summoning.
Yeah, this is well before even Kakashi has done his dog summoning against Zabuza.
Fine. Okay. Could you please tell me more about Tristane? What do you mean by that? You should know this stuff. No, I am from Konoha, the land of fire. I have never heard of these locations. Why do you not know more about Tristane? Because I am from Konoha, land of fire.
Sorry, that's
Why do you not know more about this location?
that's a very good
This
point.
sounds like a fucking
Actually,
video game conversation. Tell me more about this fact that you don't know anything. Tell me more about this. Tell me more about that.
It's like
Tell
the
me
man.
everything.
It's like
This
going
is
up
Malcolm
to.
Idiot. Tell me everything you know about the Reapers.
No, it's like going up to him like a Mexican or something and being like, I demand you tell me everything about Belgium. And they're just like, what?
excuse.
What's a Belgium?
They're just like,
No,
it's
and by the way,
in
demand it
Europe?
after you somehow magically taught them German.
Right, yes, of course.
I feel like the only appropriate response is, I hear they make a good waffle.
You mean the waffle? Now, no, to be fair though, that is an actual response that I've heard from someone before. They were not aware that Belgium was a place.
How? American schools.
American public school system. American public school system. American public school system. We teach them how to cheat.
Well, look, to be fair, Belgium is really good at going under the radar. No one even remembers the fucked up shit they did in Africa.
What did you say? Nobody remembered them during the World Wars either.
I don't know. I think Portugal has them beat when it came to seizing the spice trade. And maybe the Dutch actually have Portugal beat when it came to seizing the spice trade.
Remember, the spice must flows.
Anyway, Sai, I will tell you about these words. And then she proceeded to tell him all about the countries and the government system of the countries. And magic.
I feel like the first response should be, "Hold up, why did you suddenly start talking?"
No, we're already past that.
We already covered that.
No, okay, so this conversation is really fucking weird. Where are you from? I am from Konoha, land of fire. I have never heard of those places. Well, who are you? I am Luis from Tristane of Helgankia. I have never heard of those places. Can you tell me more about them? What do you mean tell you more about Tristane? You should know about Tristane. Well, I don't, so please tell me about them. Alright, well, you see, our government system it's just like, wait, if you were just berating him for not knowing about Tristane, why are you, like, going into an in-depth explanation of the nobility and government systems of the surrounding countries?
Because this is her hobby and she never gets to talk about it normally.
I mean, okay, you say that as a jest.
I wasn't saying it in jest. Like, I'm fairly certain that's probably what the explanation would be.
Anyway, so blah blah blah, magic rituals, blah blah. I sort of understand what you just said, Naruto said. I won't allow a familiar to respond to me like that. Okay,
Like what?
you are a dumb peasant boy! Okay, well, can you explain the government system to me? I have explained the government system to you. Yeah, I really
Could you
didn't...
do a better job?
No, not even that. Naruto goes, yeah, I sort of followed? How dare you speak to me like that? It's like you literally just called him a dumb peasant earlier, and now you're like, how dare you not be not a dumb peasant like I said you were? It's like, yeah, I'm feeling really get some really big Two-Face vibes going on here.
No, hey, hold up. Two-Face was highly logically consistent within his neuroses.
Fair enough.
Like, out of all of Batman's villains, well, as long as he was being written by even a halfway intelligent author, Two-Face was highly consistent and logical within the confines of his neuroses. He has to commit two-faced crimes, double crimes, but like, if a henchman pisses him off and he's like, flip the coin to decide if you live or die, he's already decided. One side is live, the other side is die.
Anyway, be quiet. I wasn't talking to you. And cast a spell on the boy, only to see that he ran away. He ran away from me? What? That's impossible! I can't afford to hang around here, Naruto said. I gotta get back to my village and make sure my sensei is okay.
Alright, you know what? 10 out of 10 for writing Naruto correctly. He's immediately concerned about the only person who so far in his life has ever
Sound like you're in pain.
So Naruto is escaping, and he happens upon the canon situation of Gucci and Sarah, or whatever her face is, and then Katie, and then Katie says, "Gucci-sama." Even
I'm so bothered that this is how you're messing up his name.
I mean, listen, I actually think it's kind of funny, but
it's funny, but it's like,
But and then it's just like
almost as bad
just
as like
randomly out of nowhere, just dabbing that Sama in. It literally at no point in time.
Ever again.
No.
Dabbing on is not something you should ever say.
I'm gonna dab
listen,
into your face.
Listen, it's not my fault that you aren't hip enough for me to understand when I
Hello,
dab on
fellow
the
children. Oh, gag me. That is a corny line in the movie. I'm not gonna watch this. And then the boy goes, wow, isn't that the peasant Luis summoned? Darn it. Naruto increased his walking pace. In today's ritual, yes. He suddenly fainted and stopped moving. He's very troublesome. What does he want? Hold on. What does he want, thought Naruto. Yes. A peasant put a noble in trouble and not a word of thanks. Oh, sorry about that, thanks or whatever. What an arrogant jerk. Suddenly he heard footsteps and knew who was coming. Oh, crap, it's the Fuzz. And then he ran away. Luis, your familiar just passed by, said Gucci. Help me catch him. He just ran away, Luis said with a frown. The familiar who you sealed a contract with? Nothing less from your familiar, Luis. Common sense doesn't seem to apply. Don't be impressed by it. Help me. Guess I have no choice but to help you. And Naruto ran away, and they were chasing after him. There he is, over there.
fairness.
Everyone, get him. Knock it off, he's getting away. I gotta get out of here and get back to Konoha. What the heck is going on here? Give up, you peasant. This is the second time I've kept you afloat. What are you doing? Put me down. No, I will punish you now. Ha ha ha, a familiar that runs away from its master. It's too funny, the redhead said. I'm gonna get this guy. Huh? And he looked up into the sky and was like, oh shit, there's 2 fucking moons. I'm on a different fucking world. Okay, holy shit, that's the smartest goddamn thing I've ever heard a fucking person say. When it comes to these stories. It's like, yeah. You know, normally, the 2 moon thing, kind of a big giveaway.
Yeah. Usually.
We're at the end of the chapter, everyone. Celebrations are to be had. This is Husbeck with the first chapter of a new story. Upon closing the polls, looking at the polls, I decided to go with Naruto Familiar of Zero. Conveniently enough, I was given a challenge by Sith and decided to accept it. This is the challenge. Naruto the Familiar of Zero challenge. Summons Naruto. Rules. Naruto must eventually learn and master all of the jutsu in the Forbidden Scroll, except for Edo Tensei, Shikifuin, and the jutsu requiring a Keki Genkai. So we know none of the jutsu in the scroll besides all of those that you just listed, so he has to master everything that's never been listed before. Got it. Naruto must have a harem with Luis, Siesta, Henrietta, Tiffania, Jessica, and anyone else. Luis must like Naruto faster than Saito. There must be no rape, no yaoi. Naruto must wield 3 swords, 1 in each hand and the third in his mouth.
So you're just basically turning him into Naruto Zoro at this point,
Yes.
right?
It
Naruto-
literally mentions that, yes.
Yeah. Naruto must get a Sandai Kitseru at the same store he gets the Flinger at. What the fuck is this?
That's
Sandai...
apparently a sword from One Piece. How does that even end up there? Actually,
Oh.
that's gonna look really weird, because pretty sure that's a katana.
That's a katana, yeah. It's a fantasy anime samurai sword. Yeah.
And then again, Derflinger is kind of a weird single-edged... Actually, is Derflinger single-edged?
Oh, Derflinger's
Yeah, he's a single-edged European blade. That's...
single-edged
Yeah.
European blades were common. That's like not...
I know, it's not something you see very often, because people are used to the
Yeah.
Broadsword.
usual double-edged blades because fantasy.
Well, I mean, yeah, but also the increased ease of use that came with it and the less training you need to do. Turns out
Yeah.
twice the edge means half the training. Just kidding. I don't know that.
Scottish double-edged sword. Run into battle and cut someone's fucking head off.
Literally just swing it around. No matter what edge you hit them with, it's gonna hurt.
Look, if a drunken Scotsman can use it, so can you.
The Akutsuki and Konoha must not be able to get to Naruto since they would need the location of the teleportation. I mean, yeah, fine, yeah, that's okay. See, that's actually a nice thing that I approve of for this challenge because too often I see in stories where it's like Naruto ends up in this dimension, and then you get 30 or so chapters into the story, and then suddenly the Akutsuki just randomly shows up as well, and it's like,
Did you...
okay. Super Potato says basically you need to write Naruto like a Gary Stew. I mean, sort of, yeah, pretty much, because the whole harem thing.
This is actually this story in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
Was actually okay, and the concept was interesting. And then I find out it's a stupid fucking challenge with all these dumb
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know
yeah,
how
I
it's-
understand that, but this first chapter was just
It was nothing but canon.
it was a splat. It was mostly canon with a splash of original content, but that original content was just really meh.
Hey, Sneaky, since you seem to know everything,
No.
has anyone done Familiar of Zero Tanya?
Oh yes.
And done it without
No.
being trash?
No. No. Mm-mm.
Are
No.
you looking for non-trash stories on the fanfiction.night set?
Yeah.
No. When I ask Sneaky, I'm asking him to include the entire breadth of fanfiction that he peruses.
I am currently reading. I'm preparing to read. I suppose you could say a Tanya World of Warcraft cross.
Oh,
Yeah, there
one
is.
that Gray's been reading.
Yeah, when it comes to Gray, it's like 50-50 if I'm gonna like it, because sometimes Gray will read stories that I won't read because I have a personal gripe with, point A or point B. I mean, I'll tell you guys if it's good or not. I'll link it in the fanfiction channel. If it does end up being good, but I don't have high hopes for it.
well, I always get worried for Tanya because
It's Edge City.
I would say
Honestly, after reading the
it's
Paragon,
a difficult series to write without going into idiot land.
The author needs to be at least as intelligent as Ken and Tanya, and that doesn't
Yeah.
happen too often.
Well, yeah. The problem
I would
is
say, they
that
also have to understand. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say the problem with writing Tanya is the fact that they have to be capable of writing a sociopathic, stubborn atheist who
Without being,
who has a series of events happen to him that is both by his own doing, but also simultaneously being manipulated by Being X. It's a very complicated series of events.
It's a very specific niche that not too many people can fill.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, they again, as you said, they have to be as smart as Tanya is shown to be, because that's the only way they're going to be capable of writing a correct Tanya is if they're capable of going, I am intelligent and I think this would happen. Which again, shortens the pool of authors even more, which is why I really like Paragon, it's called. It's a Tanya point of view if the war never accelerated to the point where Tanya needed to be deployed with the experimental Type 95. And
so she'd have her dream job, her cushy backline job.
no, it explores the AU of a war that had stalled out while she was doing the testing of the Type 95. So Shugel got to do a lot more experimentation with her. And it gets dark. Highly recommend the story. It's extremely well written.
Okay, when you say like what like 40k levels of grimdark?
I mean like no, I mean like how best to put this? I mean like Alma backstory dark.
I mean, Alma, it's a little dark, but I wouldn't say it's super edgy.
No, I didn't say it was edgy. I just said it was dark, as in it gets into the nitty-gritty of military experimentation given free reign.
On a small child.
Yes. But I don't have much else to add, so I shall bid everyone an early farewell. Twitch
Wait, what?
seems to have yeeted everyone already.
Arrivederci.
Oh, did Twitch screw up for you or something?
No,
No,
I,
we're just done.
yeah, I'm just done early. So I shall bid everyone a brief farewell. We'll see you again on Friday. Tell people about this place. Come on Friday, please, for the love of God. Because as they say, there's always more and it always gets worse.